can you do a little more? And Baba Anushka was like, yeah, I can kill them. So then all the girls were like, oh, we like this. So Baba Anushka made these deadly potions, gave them to the girls gave them to their abusive husbands, and they were dead in like 8 days. And Baba Anushka would do this thing where she'd ask the girls, how heavy is the problem? Which was code for, how heavy is your husband? Because I gotta make sure I put enough in it, mama. She was so successful that she hired a sales agent to go into town and like sniff out people with marital problems. But this one girl fucked it all up. After she killed her shitty husband, she used another potion to kill her new husband's rich uncle. And the police were like, can you explain this? And she was like, it was Baba Anushka. Baba Anushka was like, are you fucking kidding me? But
wondered what it would be like if you couldn't see, hear, smell, taste, or touch. In 1983, a group of scientists thought that a human without any senses would be able to perceive God, so they found an elderly man who volunteered to have all of his senses surgically destroyed for this experiment. He would be completely alone with his thoughts. After a few days, he claimed that he heard his dead wife speaking to him. Then he began naming the dead relatives of the scientists and only information that their dead relatives would know. After a week, he started throwing himself against a wall to try and feel some kind of pain, but he couldn't. He tried to claw at his non-functioning eyes, but he felt nothing. He began to yell, "No heaven, no forgiveness," for 5 hours straight. In the end, he had to be physically restrained for weeks. When he turned his blind eyes and made direct eye contact for the first time with a scientist and said, "I have spoken to God, and he has abandoned us," before his heart stopped for no apparent reason.
Scariest urban legends from every state. Texas, the Candy Lady. In the 1900s, children in an unnamed rural town began to go missing, and people were blaming it on the Candy Lady. The story says that she would go around leaving candy on children's windowsills, and she would be able to lure them in by leaving notes promising more candy. This story picked up steam when a farmer found rotted teeth on his farm and eventually found the dead body of a boy with candy stuffed in his pocket. While little is known about the origin of this story, many claim that the Candy Lady is real, and her name was Clara Crane. Whichever state gets the most likes, I'll do tomorrow.
Medical surgery's gone wrong, part 1. Imagine you're supposed to be asleep during surgery, but you're actually awake and can't move. This is what happened to Katrina Ossity. It's called anesthesia awareness, and this happens to people sometimes during surgery. Katrina went in to go get a tumor removed. When they put her under anesthesia, she realized she was awake still, but couldn't move or talk. She said she could feel the incisions, the smell of her skin being burnt while they were doing surgery. She said it hurt and felt really uncomfortable and she couldn't do anything about it. She would try to scream and warn them, but her body wouldn't move. She said she felt like a helpless meat sack of organs. It's honestly a nightmare. Kinda makes you scared to go in for surgery. Like this video if you want more of this series. I'll do a part 2.
This is why parents should always believe their kids. In 2010, a woman arrives home from work only to notice that the entrance to the attic is open. She didn't think too much of it though, because that morning at breakfast, her 15-year-old son had said he was going to go up to get a book to take to his school camp for the week. With her husband also travelling for work, she closes the attic door and slides the lock across to make herself feel better. On the kitchen counter, there's a note from her son. It says, "Hey mum, have a great week. I'll see you when I get home. Love, Dan." P.S. I heard that knocking in the attic again I told you about, so maybe get Dad to check the water heater when he gets home. A few nights later, she has a dream of water dripping on her face. She suddenly wakes, turns on the nightstand light, and notices she's covered in blood. In a panic, she checks herself to make sure she's not hurt, but looks up and sees blood dripping through the ceiling. She calls police, and when they arrive, they go up into the attic. They find a mad, deranged man living up there. They also find her 15-year-old son's body slumped over the master bedroom. He still had his backpack on and was holding a book. He was half eaten. This story's called It's Safe to Come Out Now. Late one night, a little girl was upstairs playing in her bedroom when she heard a bang at the front door. She hears her mum yell out to her dad, "Hey, somebody's at the door, can you go check?"